In this video, we will cover how to write good user stories in Agile with acceptance criteria. At the end of this video, we will show you how to verify if you wrote a good user story, so stick with us until the end. When a product is created, the Agile teams typically break down the product features and requirements into user stories. User stories describe the desired functionality from the perspective of the user. Each user story should cover a small chunk of functionality and deliver value on its own. The user story description should be brief enough that it can be written on an index card. It needs to be written in a simple way so it can be understood by everyone, without including the solution or heavy technical information. Let's look at an example. As a Spotify podcast listener, I want to save podcasts as my favorites so that I can create my own custom list of favorite podcasts. This user story format is useful because it answers who the user role or persona is. In our example, is the Spotify podcast listener. It shows what the action of the user is, to save podcasts as favorites, and it highlights the value and answers the why, so that I can create my own custom list of favorite podcasts. After we write our user story, we need to start thinking about the criteria that informs us and the team when the user story is complete. This is called the acceptance criteria. Acceptance criteria can be written in multiple formats. One of the formats that can be used for acceptance criteria is the given, when, then format. Let's use our user story as an example. Given the Spotify app displays podcasts, when I click the favorite icon that is displayed by each individual podcast, then the podcast gets saved and is displayed in my favorite list. As you notice, given shows context or precondition, when shows the action that is carried out, and then displays the observable outcome and expected results. As you can see, user stories with acceptance criteria are both simple concepts, but it does take practice to get used to actually writing them. Let's try one more example. As a LinkedIn user, I want to search for jobs that are remote only, so that I can apply to jobs that allows me to work from anywhere. The acceptance criteria can be something like this. Given I am under the job tab in LinkedIn, when I search for jobs, and I filter by remote only, then remote only jobs are displayed, and I can apply for them. So we wrote our user story and included an acceptance criteria. But how can we double check ourselves to make sure we wrote an overall good and effective user story? This is done with the help of the acronym INVEST. INVEST means independent, negotiable, valuable, estimatable, small, and testable. Let's take a look at independent. A story that is independent is not coupled to any other story. It can be developed in any order and can be released on its own. Negotiable means while the end goal may be clearly described for the user story, the methods by which that goal is achieved should be negotiable. Valuable means every story that's delivered should make your product more valuable. Estimatable, the user story has enough information for the team to size it, so they can probably plan and commit to that work. Small means the user story should be done within an iteration, or sprint. User stories are easier to estimate and test when they're smaller. Testable means stories should be testable in a binary way. That means they either pass or fail their associated tests. This means the user story has a good acceptance criteria. With that, we conclude this video on how to write good user stories in Agile. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our channel for more content.